Street was relocated, it could open up land for thousands of new homes. He calls it a prime opportunity to tackle the housing crisis in HRM. Fillmore says city planners anticipate the area could eventually accommodate up to 10,000 residents. He says he's already begun discussing the idea with Canada Post leadership, federal ministers, and property owners in the area. A new drop-in center will open its doors in Cape Breton on Monday. Seoul's Harbor Rescue Mission started renovating a space on Main Street in Sydney Mines in late November. Those who volunteer at the facility will offer hot meals 5 times a week to those in need. CEO Michelle Porter says all are welcome.
It isn't just about people who can't afford to eat or, need a shirt or some winter clothing. It's really a space for community and warmth. And so that's why we were really careful in inviting everyone on Monday to say, this is an open house. It's for everyone. Please come, and we're all going to eat together and just tour the space and get to know one another.
Seoul's Harbor already operates 4 other drop-in spaces located in Halifax, Bridgewater, Truro, and Lower Sackville. The Nova Scotia government is putting forward millions of dollars to help establish a standalone nursing school at Acadia University. The school will be in a new state-of-the-art facility that will be able to train more nurses here in the province. Michael Gorman has the details.
Last spring, officials with Acadia University and the provincial government announced the satellite nursing school here in Wolfville, and 23 students began in temporary space this fall. But officials said at the time they would need a new building to accommodate the plan to have 63 students per year in the program. Today, the provincial government announced $13.9 million for the construction of that building. Officials with the university say there's been a lot of interest in the new program.
Right now, we have 299 applications, so that's as of last Friday. And of those applications, 65 are for designated seats for African, Nova Scotian, Mi'kmaq, or Indigenous students.
Planning and design work for the new building is complete, and it's expected that construction will begin this fall. Officials here in Wolfville hope that the new building will be ready in time for the 2026-2027 school year. Michael Gorman, CBC News, Wolfville.
Nurses Union President Janet Hazelton says a new nursing school in Wolfville will have a major impact on keeping nurses in the province.
What's going to be more helpful about it is that these nurses will be in the Valley, and so their clinical experiences will tend to be in rural Nova Scotia, which is a good thing. And we know that internationally educated nurses are good and we need them, but nurses that are educated in Nova Scotia are more likely to stay in Nova Scotia.
Nova Scotia Power is on the hook for about $2 million in costs relating to an oil spill 5 years ago in Halifax Harbor. About 24,000 liters of bunker C oil leaked from a corroded pipe at the Tufts Cove power plant in August of 2018. In a ruling today, the province's Utility and Review Board said Nova Scotia Power failed to properly inspect the pipe before the leak, even though the utility knew it hadn't been examined in a long time. The UARB says Nova Scotia's handling of the situation was, quote, imprudent. Another sunny day in the Halifax area at least. Ryan Snoddon here with the latest on the weather forecast.
Certainly a chilly start, and but recovered quite nicely with a beautiful day out there. Again, the sun's so nice, but the clouds, they're already starting to build in ahead of our next system, and you can see that cloud cover starting to roll in. The thicker cloud cover just off to the south, that builds in tonight. And there's the system itself. Now, for the most part, this is going to be a swing and a miss. And in fact, the forecast models have been trending a bit further east with this. And so really, it's going to be eastern areas that are going to be seeing some very light snowfall from this system. It is going to track in for Thursday afternoon, edging into the metro area, maybe a few flakes, but for the most part, it's going to be the eastern shore and into Cape Breton and also Antigonish County, where we have the best chances for picking up a couple of centimeters of accumulation, maybe as much as 5 centimeters for Sydney and Richmond counties. But for the most part, this is going to be a low impact system, thankfully. And we'll see temperatures tomorrow near the freezing mark for the east, where we see a little bit more in the way of sunshine breaking through. Temperatures are going to be on the plus side. Note those easterly winds tomorrow will be kicking up. Now, into the long range, watching this next system with more focus, no question. It is going to roll in through the Friday evening and overnight time period, and this one is going to be a rain event. No rain is good rain when you have this much snow down as we do across much of the province. Southerly winds will also help to warm us up with this. Looks like about 10 to 30 millimeters of rain. That's not, a boatload of rain, but it's enough to cause issues, especially when you also have, as I said, the southerly gusty winds and the mild temperatures, which are going to be likely in the mid-single digits. So we're going to see the rain plus the snow melt, and so a lot of ponding water. And yeah, that is going to be the focus into the Saturday time period. And then the temperatures are going to drop. So whatever water is down is going to freeze up. So really the big theme over the next couple of days is digging out those storm drains, Tom, making sure that that water has an exit route, because whatever water is sticking around and is still on the ground for Saturday night is going to be sticking around throughout the day on Sunday as temperatures are looking set to freeze up. So we'll be keeping an eye on this, obviously, and have a little peek into next week what that holds coming up.
All right, looking forward to it. Thanks so much, Ryan.
Thank you.
Well, some Nova Scotians looking to switch from home heating oil to heat pumps can now apply for a grant to cover the full cost. Under the federal and provincial program, low to median income households in the province that heat their home with oil can apply to receive up to $30,000. That includes $15,000 from Ottawa's Oil to Heat Pump Affordability Program and up to $15,000 from the province. Nova Scotians may be eligible for the grant if their home was heated by oil as of January 2023. They are the primary resident and owner of their home, and their total annual household income is no more than $105,000 after tax. The federal government has signed a tourism funding agreement with the Atlantic provinces worth $30 million. The Atlantic Canada Agreement on Tourism is aimed at expanding year-round tourism to the region from domestic and international visitors. The agreement includes an $18 million investment through ACOA over the next 4.5 years, alongside a $12 million investment from the 4 Atlantic provinces over that same period. Tourism contributed 3.5% of the region's gross domestic product in 2022 and employed more than 111,000 full and part-time workers. Ottawa is launching its $50 million plan to support Black public servants. Money will go towards career development, leadership training, and to recruit more Black counselors to provide mental health support. It comes after a 2022 survey where 11% of Black employees said they'd experienced discrimination on the job. It also showed that Black employees were concentrated in the lower pay range.
So from a pay equity standpoint, from a systemic discrimination standpoint, we have work to do.
The funding will go to more than 90 federal departments and agencies. Around the time of Lunar New Year, a couple from Hong Kong held demos, lectures, and performances to introduce the art of Cantonese opera to Halifax audiences. They call their troupe FI Studio. We asked them what performing Cantonese opera means to them now that they've made their home in Halifax.
They said, "Oh, I haven't watched it for so long. And it's so touching and so moving for them, emotional for them to see it once again." Cantonese opera is actually one of the more than 300 genres of Chinese opera. It's very popular among people in Guangdong, Hong Kong, Macau, and Cantonese-speaking communities overseas. And at least it's been there for 400 years and counting. We would like to introduce this traditional Chinese theatre to Nova Scotia and the other parts of Canada as well, if possible.
Maybe compare with the Peking opera. We are based on the similar makeup and also the costumes and also the story of the history, but with different kind of the language we are singing.
Makeup and costumes are very important indicators of the background of that character. Because from a very long time, when there was no technology, no spotlight, no microphones, people going to the theatre many, many centuries ago, they need to know what they are watching and what to expect.
We don't just we don't want the people just come to walk and see, beautiful costume, beautiful makeup, beautiful hairprint, and then that's it and go on.
I've always been wanting to get more involved to promote this to people who found it too old for me. This is something for my grandma, and just like Western opera, I guess, you need some sort of homework to appreciate this. The stories in the Cantonese opera are a little bit too dramatic for real life. Our story is pretty straightforward. We met in a theatre and we talk a lot about her performance, how I interpret and understand the stories, how I appreciate it, how I want you guys to perform. And so we think we connect in that way. So we seem to be sharing a common goal.
In Hong Kong, they don't accept the same-sex marriage. So when we decided to be partners, so we want to have the more.
We left Hong Kong for a number of reasons. We think at this point of time in life, we are ready for some sort of adventure. I guess this is the two main reasons why we were trying to. We were leaving Hong Kong and would like to find somewhere more suitable for us.
When I walk into the stage, I feel very touching too, because I never thought that I can perform outside Hong Kong again.
I think we have two major types of responses. For the non-Chinese speaking people, they find it very interesting. Some of them were asking us, when are you going to perform next? We would like to see more. That's the best response we could ever expect. The second type was quite unexpected. Actually, some Chinese Canadians who had been in this part of the country for many years came to us almost in tears, that they said, "Oh, I haven't watched it for so long." And it's so touching and so moving for them, emotional for them to see it once again. And so we got a little bit more emotional hearing that as well.
I'm also very happy that we did the good things to bring some incredible art form to show to them. So this is also maybe make us to think about, if I have a chance, we would like to do more performance to introduce to them. Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I'm glad to be participating in a form of cultural exchange. I'm kind of excited to be part of that process in this time. Actually, I'm looking forward to more opportunities to do that, not just in Halifax, maybe in other parts of Canada as well. I'm more interested to talk to the non-Cantonese speaking people so that they would know that when they think of Hong Kong, for example, in the future, they just don't not just think of dim sum or shopping, but they will also think about Cantonese opera as well.
Coming up, after an encampment fire in New Brunswick, a new pilot program is working to get people out of the cold. An unprecedented decision by Alabama's Supreme Court could have big implications for fertility treatments in that state. And Ryan's back next with your full weather forecast. A bit of that sun Ryan was talking about earlier today. The last glimpses of it. He'll have more on the weather details coming up. Ryan, back with us now to talk weather, and we're going to start with what we just showed people as we went to break there, that beautiful harbor cam shot of Halifax.
It's worth having another look.
Evidence of the sun that was today, but also the days are getting longer, and we haven't been able to see that kind of shot for quite a while.
Yeah, it's true. Gaining 3 minutes a day.
Is that what it is? Okay,
yeah,
good.
And so it's really, yeah, well, I mean, we're
picking up steam.
We are picking up steam. Definitely gaining some momentum. And yeah, we could just leave that up for the entire hit, couldn't we?
You've got details you have to get to, though,
It's
don't you?
true. It's true. We might as well start with how cold it was this morning, and indeed, widespread minus teens. And you can see we dipped into the minus 20 range at Shelburne and Caledonia there at the Kedzie Park, and Amherst and Parsboro and Truro, and yeah, those couple of standout spots. The Malay Falls station there at Sheet Harbor, minus 23. And minus 28. That is at the Collegeville station south of town in Antigonish County. Yeah, that's the coldest temperature recorded anywhere in the province since remember that big cold shot we had early last February, where the temperature not only was minus 28, but the wind chill was like minus 45. We all remember that shot. So that's the coldest temp since that shot in early February last year. And what a recovery. I mean, we recovered marvelously considering where we started, just below the freezing mark. Temps have started to slide, and it will be another cold night tonight. Note the easterly winds, though. That starting to kick in. Those east to southeast winds are going to help to keep temperatures a bit more mild tonight than last night. Still very cold, no question. The wind chill values, you can see, starting to pick up a little bit of a bite in those areas that are picking up a bit of a breeze. There's the system, which is going to be, again, tracking to our east, but we're close enough to at least be impacted by it, especially for areas in the east, Cape Breton in particular. There's our next system, and it is gathering steam in the prairies, in the plains, rather, and it is going to be bringing up some milder air, some gusty winds, and of course the rain. And we're going to time this out for you. You can see temperatures tonight are going to be ranging from around minus 8 to minus 12, but we'll dip into the minus 14 to 16, even 18 range here in low-lying areas. That Collegeville station likely, Malay Falls, the upper Stewiacke this morning was in and around the minus 25, 26 range. So those are the pockets that are going to be cold again for sure. Now you can see the clouds already fanning in as we speak, but will really fan in tonight. Tomorrow morning, as you can see, we're going to be getting clipped into the afternoon for, as we said, Cape Breton, Guysborough, Antigonish, Sheet Harbor. This particular model really dropping. It is going to be a sharp drop-off. I think eastern Halifax County and Sheet Harbor looking likely to see some light snowfall. Halifax to Truro to New Glasgow, putting it in the 60% chance of some flakes, but not expecting anything in the way of accumulation. So that's some good news for the drive home tomorrow. Unless there's a significant change, it looks like this area is really going to be not impacted at all. Just maybe a few flurries flying for later into the afternoon, or at least mid to late afternoon. We'll see those, again, that snow tracking in throughout the afternoon. Could see a couple centimeters through supper time for Cape Breton and for Guysborough and Antigonish counties. And then, again, really brightening up as we work our way west tomorrow with certainly increased clouds, but we'll see some sun breaking through, especially as we work our way into the Tri-County area. And for the Halifax area, we'll be right near the freezing mark. Again, I'm keeping these flurry chances in there just in case the model's back again a little bit further to the west, but not expecting a whole lot. Now for Friday, we're going to be seeing building clouds from west to east, temperatures ranging from 2 to as warm as 5. I do have shower chances for Yarmouth, Shelburne, and Digby for the afternoon. This is rainfall for Friday night, and Saturday. Widespread 10 to 30 millimeters, but could see some pockets here that do creep into the 30, 40, maybe 50 range. Not seeing much of that right now, but 30, 40 perhaps not out of the question. So that's more than enough rain to cause issues, especially when we have the snow melting as well with the southerly winds, temperatures mid-single digits, and this is all going to be coming down at a pretty good clip for Friday night into Saturday with some rain at times heavy, and then this is all going to move its way out. And as we mentioned at the top of the show, problem number one is all of the water that is going to be suddenly appearing from the melting snow and the rain. Problem number two is the storm drains, which are clogged with ice, and of course our downspouts and our eaves troughs are all full of snow and ice right now. The third problem is that after all that water appears, it is going to be freezing up. We tumble the temperatures Saturday night into Sunday morning. And note that on Sunday, temperatures will not creep back above the freezing mark. So it's going to, whatever ice does form Saturday night is going to stick around throughout Sunday. Monday, we creep kind of back closer to the freezing mark, but really it won't be until mid next week that we see another warm up, Tom. So again, that is going to be what we're tracking here over the next few days.
Up and down. Okay, thanks so much, Ryan.
Thank you.
Well, up next, we will look at a new pilot program that is working to get people out of the cold in our region. Stay with us. You're watching CBC Nova Scotia News. Welcome back. Like here in Nova Scotia, communities across the country are struggling to find solutions to homelessness. In St. John, New Brunswick, they are working on a plan they hope will provide some relief. 6 shipping containers are being installed, and the new shelter can't come soon enough. That's because over the weekend, someone set fire to a tent encampment at the site. Police are now investigating. The CBC's Julia Wright caught up with some of those residents and volunteers to talk about their living situation and what's to come.
Me and my boyfriend were sitting there talking to a couple of friends, and we kind of heard a car pull up. There's stuff hitting the top of our tent, and they were glowing. Tried to hit it off, by the inside, and only a couple pieces fell off, but I heard the crackles and I realized it was actual fire. We all rushed out for the other side of the tent to try to get out.
How long have you been living here for?
Since the beginning of the summer.
What's it like here for you?
It's crowded and it's cold right now, and it's kind of crowded and it's a mess right now.
So you see right behind us they're putting in these new sea cans, right?
Yes.
What do you think of that?
I think it's probably a lot better than our situation right now.
In what way would it be better for you to live in that versus a tent?
Well, it's going to be heated and we're going to have electricity and stuff, so it's going to be a big step up.
This is a temporary solution that is just really about enhanced safety for individuals. So, you know, when you talk about heat and electricity, way safer, a solid structure versus a tent that is much more flammable. And then also the ability to lock doors so that you have privacy and safety being not just exposed and outside to the elements and to other individuals.
We're looking at a next step, which is to provide these shipping containers, modified, small units, like each unit is about 8 by 10. As part of being here, individuals, the residents, will meet with Fresh Start 3 times a week.
Okay, so this is tiny. It's really small, but we're nice and out of the wind now. Like that, you can feel immediately the relief of like just being out of that winter cold, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they'll be wired in. They'll have a heater up high. There'll be fire extinguisher. You know, there'll be a light and there'll be an outlet as well. So basically, you're coming into a small bedroom. There'll be a bed over here, table, chair. And then, you know, we may have a small fridge and a microwave type of thing.
This will continue for 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
And then these will be moved to a different site that has better resources.
At some point, these resources have to be dedicated at a significant amount, recognizing that this is going to be one of the pieces to housing people, you know, in a transitional kind of period to permanent housing.
And that's from Julia Wright in St. John. And if people are looking for rent relief to help ease homelessness, well, consider this. The average asking price for rent in Canada has reached nearly $2,200 a month. That is a 10% increase from this time last year. With vacancy rates plunging to all-time lows, tenants across the country are asking governments for help. But in Quebec, a long-standing tool that helped moderate rent increases could be about to disappear. The CBC's Alison Northcott has more on the so-called lease transfer and the province's changing rental landscape.
This is my kitchen.
When Satya Ortiz-Gagné was moving out of his last apartment, he wanted to transfer the lease so a new tenant could pay the same rent.
To be able to refuse an increase in the rent, I think it's the only tool that we have right now to be able to keep it just a little bit low.
But housing advocates say that tool is about to lose its power. A new law that could pass as early as this week gives landlords the right to refuse lease transfers for any reason. Quebec's housing minister says the bill is meant to strengthen protections for renters.
That was my goal, better protect the tenants against eviction so that they're not taken by surprise, that they receive better compensation if they have to leave.
Montreal was long known for its lower housing costs, but rents have been rising. An average two-bedroom jumped nearly 8% last year alone. Tenants' rights groups have been fighting Bill 31, arguing giving landlords more power will lead to discrimination.
It will take away tenants' rights to carry out lease transfers, which has historically been one of the few levers that tenants have to keep rents affordable, to support each other through what's become one of the worst housing crises in Quebec history.
Landlords argue while some parts of the bill will complicate their lives, having more say over who can take over a lease and when is a good step.
Every year I have lease transfer, and there's a disconnect when you look at the price that is paid for that unit and what I would need to invest just to maintain that unit viable.
While there are lease transfers in other cities, experts say Quebec tenants have used them for years to try to keep rents low. Now some worry rents will just keep rising. Alison Northcott, CBC News, Montreal.
Coming up, calls to ban books in Canadian schools are on the rise, but some authors and teachers are pushing back. At the International Court of Justice, the U.S. is supporting Israel's occupation of land claimed by Palestinians. The court is hearing arguments on a 2022 request from the UN General Assembly for an opinion on the Israeli occupation. The U.S. says the court could not order the immediate withdrawal of Israeli troops from the occupied territory without taking into account Israel's security needs. In the war between Israel and Hamas, there are fresh warnings about mass starvation in Gaza and new concerns about getting humanitarian aid into the territory. The CBC's Abiku Vasan has the latest.
The World Food Program says Gaza is hanging on by a thread, but it's forced to suspend life-saving aid to northern Gaza once again. The aid agency says civil order has broken down in the north, and trucks that are permitted and able to reach the area are quickly surrounded by desperate, hungry people. The UN says about 300,000 Palestinians are still in the north despite months of ongoing Israeli bombardment and rely on this aid to survive. At least 67 people have been killed in Gaza overnight into Wednesday, according to the Associated Press. The AP says its reporters saw dozens of bodies being brought to a hospital in Deir al-Balah. In Han Yunis, the World Health Organization says it has been able to evacuate 32 critically wounded patients from Nasser Medical Complex, which is the largest hospital in the south. It was raided by the IDF last week, and the WHO is accusing Israel of impeding access to the facility, which is no longer functioning.
We were shocked what we actually saw in Nasser Medical Complex. There's waste everywhere. Electricity was not working. Parts of the hospital are damaged and some severely damaged.
Sexual and gender-based violence remains a major concern in this conflict. The United Nations is investigating reports of rape by Hamas militants on October 7th. A UN report now says there are credible allegations against Israeli forces of human rights violations in Gaza, including rape and strip searches of Palestinian women and girls. Israel denies this. A spokesperson says the United Nations is motivated by hate of the Israeli state. Abby Quadas in CBC News, Berlin.
Alabama's Supreme Court has ruled that frozen embryos have human rights. The decision has already sent a chill through fertility clinics in the state, and other people worry that it could inspire legal challenges elsewhere. The CBC's Richard Madden has the story.
The landmark decision by Alabama's state Supreme Court could potentially end fertility treatments statewide after its unprecedented ruling that frozen embryos are children and have the same legal protections under state law.
It was shocking, and I knew immediately what the implications of it were.
Alabama's court decision follows a lawsuit by 3 sets of parents who sued their medical provider when their frozen embryos were accidentally destroyed. A trial court rejected their wrongful death claim, but the state's high court disagreed, with its chief justice using quotes from the Bible about the sanctity of unborn life to justify the decision. This could have major ramifications to those seeking fertility treatments like in vitro fertilization or IVF, because that procedure uses as many eggs as possible to get a successful pregnancy. Some doctors in that state now fear potential legal risks if they would face wrongful death lawsuits when they discard unused embryos.
If this fertilized egg is now a child, can we freeze them? Who is potentially criminally liable? Is it the people who created those embryos? Maybe it's the embryologist, or maybe it's somebody in the fertility clinic. We simply don't know.
Now, a religious group in Florida is looking to follow Alabama's lead, a move that could dramatically restrict access to fertility treatment in more parts of the country. The backdrop to all this is the overturning of Roe v. Wade 2 years ago, which returned abortion and reproductive rights back to each individual state to decide. Alabama has since banned abortion completely, and according to its state court, its ruling on protecting embryos was consistent with protecting unborn children under state law. Critics are calling this a terrifying development, the White House saying these are devastating consequences from Republican leaders who are undermining access to reproductive care. President Joe Biden is looking to make women's rights and abortion access a central issue in November's election, and he'll likely raise this Alabama court ruling on the campaign trail. Richard Madden, CBC News, Washington.
We are in the last days of February, and last summer's record-setting wildfire season has never really ended. There are still nearly 150 fires smoldering away in Alberta and British Columbia. Some fires continue to burn in the Northwest Territories. They are known as zombie fires, and they burn just below the surface, feeding on carbon-rich soils like peat. Researchers say the spike in this type of fire is unusual, and it signals the potential for a very active spring. Weather conditions will be a deciding factor, and Western Canada continues to face drought-like conditions. In Alberta, crews are actively fighting the fires, and more personnel are being deployed. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is in Alberta touting his government's housing policies. At an appearance in Edmonton, he announced new federal funding of up to $175 million from the Housing Accelerator Fund. The program aims to cut red tape and fast-track the construction of homes.
One of the challenges we're facing right now with this housing crisis is over the past decades, the federal governments of different stripes stepped back from the business of ensuring that housing was properly built right across the country in affordable ways, meeting the supply needs, meeting the growth of the country. So in 2017, with then Minister Amarjeet Sohi, we launched the National Housing Strategy. Over the past years, we were talking about a $2.4 billion investment just in Alberta that has created and restored and refurbished and enabled more than 100,000 homes across Alberta.
Libraries are coming under increasing pressure to ban books. It's a well-known situation in the U.S. and it's a growing trend in Canada. The CBC's Deanna Sumanak-Johnson looks at why some books get pulled off the shelves here and how authors and librarians are fighting back.
At this school west of Toronto, keeping a well-stocked library is about more than just education.
This is not a really very advantaged community, and so a lot of my students aren't necessarily going to travel the world. And so books and story may be the only place that they're going to be able to do that.
But maintaining that range of voices for kids to experience has been increasingly under threat. Late last year, children's author Danny Ramadan had his book taken off the open shelves in the Waterloo Catholic schools. It was only available upon request and with the librarian providing the Catholic context. The book, A Tale of a Syrian-Canadian Girl and Her Family, featured a character based on Ramadan himself, a gay uncle.
I expected the book to be banned in Florida. I just was extremely shocked when I found out that it was banned here.
Librarians say the majority of challenges came from parents concerned about sexuality or gender-diverse themes in books.
There's even been a few cases where the challenges to books came from those very communities depicted in the books.
That's what happened to author David A. Robertson's book, The Great Bear. Robertson is Cree, and 2 Cree foster children are the heroes of his story. But some of the people who objected to it were also Indigenous, saying the book perpetuated harmful stereotypes. As a result, the book was temporarily pulled off the shelves in the Durham Region School Board.
Oftentimes, though, what happens is that the challenges come from a place where there hasn't been a real in-depth study of the literature being done, and so it's coming from a place of ignorance.
This expert says that no matter where the criticism comes from, Canadian school libraries have a robust review procedure that should be followed and knee-jerk reactions avoided.
You know, we're not trying to defend every book to remain in the system, but what we want is people to go through the right process.
Thanks in part to the media attention the bans got, both Robertson and Ramadan's books are now back on the shelves in the school boards that restricted them. Deanna Sumanak-Johnson, CBC News, Toronto.
We're learning more today about some of the world's most iconic whale species, but more too about how humans are affecting the way these gentle giants communicate. The CBC's Anna Rom reports.
The siren song of a humpback whale. But these marine mammals also sing a different tune.
It makes a Harley Davidson sound like a child's toy.
These low-frequency sounds are the focus of new research in the journal Nature. Using vocal organs from dead baleen whales like humpbacks, they pumped air through them and discovered that these whales rotated their organs to vibrate an inner cushion, all to communicate danger, food sources, and for mating.
If you're in a very crowded bar and you need to sing to find your mate, and everybody else is making all this noise, you won't be able to find your mate.
In other words, when you sound like an engine, real engine noise is disruptive. And the new research says diving down deeper won't help. Because of how compressed air gets down there, the whales physically struggle to make these sounds. So to vocalize like this, they have to do it closer to the surface.
And that's exactly where we make boating noise, in exactly the same frequency range and also on the surface.
This noise pollution affects all marine mammals, and in Canada some solutions have been to move or slow down ships.
And all of these things generate noise.
But this advocate says there's even more to be done.
Really the biggest thing that industry and governments can do is to facilitate movement towards more quieter technologies.
So that when these giants sing their songs in the dark, they can find each other and thrive. Anand Ram, CBC News, Toronto.
Running a marathon isn't for the faint of heart. The 42-kilometer journey is a feat in itself. But one experienced athlete in Moncton is preparing for the spring marathon with a twist. And he hopes it'll earn him a Guinness World Record. The CBC's Rhythm Rathi caught up with him recently.
What's joggling? It's basically running while juggling. So the standard is juggling 3 balls while you run, and it kind of fits with like the running stride. So every time your hand comes up like this, you throw a ball and you catch it on the other one. Last fall, after I did the Toronto Marathon, I don't know where the conversation started coming up, but I just started getting interested in the idea of trying it myself, because I knew about the world record that belonged to a Canadian for the marathon. It's 2 hours and 50 minutes. So I said, okay, I'll try an easy run just to see if I can do it, see how it feels. And I kept trying it a bit and a bit more, and then I was like, okay, I submitted a request to Guinness World Records for their like authorization to attempt it, and they approved me a week or two ago, and so now I'm excited. Are you allowed to drop the balls while we're running? Like, how does this whole thing work? Yeah, so everyone has that question. Are you allowed to drop? Yes, you are allowed to drop. The way I see it is it's a bit like in a hurdle race. You see them hit the hurdle sometimes and it'll fall. And the disadvantage there is that it'll like play with their strides and slow them down. So if you drop a ball while in a joggling race, you have to pick it up, return to the point where you dropped them. So you have to take a few steps back and then start running again. How are they going to document all this? So there are a few things, like they sent me all the criteria I needed to submit, like the proof that I broke the record. I need to have 2 witnesses, and there has to be video documentation of the whole thing. So I'm going to run with a GoPro strapped to my chest. That'll show and have like a 2 hours and 50-minute video that I submit with my like document proving that I broke the record. Probably the funnest thing that's happened while joggling is people who cross me in the street while I'm juggling. Because everyone has a little joke, or everyone is like clapping their hands or get all excited. So I wasn't expecting it to feel that good. Just the kind of happiness and joy that, that it seems to spread.
Canada's main stock index moved lower today. Weakness in financial and tech stocks helped outweigh strength in energy, while U.S. markets were mixed. Here's a look at the numbers. We're talking about getting ready for the rain.
Yeah.
The downspout's not a bad idea. Maybe make sure the water has a place to get to.
Yeah, it's going to need an exit route, and many of those exit routes, those normal exit routes, are clogged with snow and ice, the storm drains, the downspouts, the east trough, and then we were just mentioning too, like the ground is frozen. So yeah, definitely there's going to be a water issue Friday night into Saturday, and then it's all going to freeze up, which is unfortunate as well. The good news is long term, we're kind of trending in that milder area towards mid to late next week and beyond. So anyway, we'll get to all that. Let's start with our viewer picture of the day. And a beautiful picture here. Now, Barry Burgess, of course, a frequent contributor to the show, but he hasn't sent one in a bit. And this one is actually from Chester. And a beautiful shot here. Now, you can see that these are snow drifts, but if you look, I mean, that could be...
Look at the side of a mountain, people skiing down it or something.
Or I see very similar, comparisons to like the desert, right? The sand, desert with the sand that drifts like that. So beautiful shot. Definitely love the detail there, Barry. Thank you so much for sharing. Ryan's picks at cbc.ca. Okay, so easterly winds tomorrow are going to keep temps a bit milder near the freezing mark, Cape Breton, and in the east, and we're a little more towards the 2-3 degree mark for western areas where the sun will be breaking through the clouds. Now, Friday's quiet as well. 2, 3, 4, 5 degrees in through the south and west. It's then beyond that things will again turn unsettled as we watch that first system clip us, maybe as much as 5 centimeters for Cape Breton. And then this next system coming in. Late day Friday arrival, periods of rain at times heavy. As I mentioned earlier, it looks kind of like a widespread 10 to 30. That looks very likely. And then pockets of 30, 40, maybe 50 millimeters, Tom. That'll be problematic. And then you can see that northwest wind in behind, which means things are going to freeze up all the way down into the minus double digits for Sunday morning. We remain below freezing Sunday. But a thaw, another one coming mid next week.
Do we have chores to do? Clean out the drains? That's what you're saying?
Definitely.
Okay, we're on it. Some extraordinary video has been captured by a drone in China. It shows a wolf pack foraging through deep snow in China. The Xinjiang region has been blanketed with heavy snowfall recently, making it difficult for animals to get around.
Lead wolves can be spotted tunneling under the snow and creating a path for the rest of the pack. Wildlife officials are keeping a close eye on the weather to ensure the safety of the animals in the region.
Yeah, that's a lot of snow for sure. That's it for us tonight. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Good night.